Earthlings will travel to distant solar systems at above the speed of light in our lifetimes, which I think is very interesting because people say that's not possible. And anyway, so that's the Phoenix Lights. I'm sorry. I wasn't as prepared as I wanted to be because I had to take my son to get his flat tire fixed, and I got home a little later than I wanted to. But I debated with someone about extraterrestrial life, and they were talking about abductions and cattle mutilations and things like that. And they were saying, well, why would they do that? Why would they abduct people? Why would they mutilate cattle? So everything I talk about, I try to come in it from a perspective where most rational people would go, yeah, that makes sense. That's a possibility. I could see that. I could see that happening. So I think about people that would come to our planet would either be explorers or conquerors, right? Well, they're not conquerors because they haven't conquered us. So they're probably explorers, and they may be peaceful explorers. They may be from planets that don't even understand the concept of violence and weapons and conquering and enslaving other people and other races and other species. They may not even understand that concept. Maybe they are explorers who are similar to us. When we explored the Galapagos Islands, what did we do? We took samples. We dissected animals. We took things with us. When we came to the New World, I'm saying we. I wasn't one of them. But, when Christopher Columbus came to New World, when the Spaniards came to the New World and, Central and South America, they brought back things. They brought back plant species and animals and all kinds of things. They back to Galapagos. Those people were scientists and explorers, and they were documenting all these things. Well, maybe the aliens are doing the same thing, and maybe they don't feel like they're harming humans when they abduct them and perform experiments and put them back. Maybe they don't understand that, hey, you're harming us, and by the way, you're messing with our heads too, because this person's not going to be right for the rest of their life. And maybe with lower animals like cattle, maybe they don't see a problem with that. Like, well, yeah, it's an animal, but I'm going to dissect it the same way that we would dissect an animal when we explored back in the day or in today's world. The problem with humans is we're not only explorers, but we're also conquerors and destroyers. But maybe they're not. Maybe they truly are explorers and are studying humans and studying the planet Earth and all of the life and ecosystems and animals and doing research and taking it back to their home worlds. And I believe there are many more than one who have visited here. So that's my answer. They're probably explorers, and they stay hidden as much as possible. So that's one thing. Another thing he said is, well, if they're so sophisticated and they can fly across interstellar space, why do all their crafts crash when they get here? Okay, let's go back again to the New World. How many ships did we sail across the Atlantic Ocean? No problem. Leave England, leave Spain, sail across the Atlantic Ocean, no problem. Get to the New World, crash into a reef, and sink. Maybe our gravity is heavier than they anticipated. Or maybe our atmosphere is thicker than they anticipated. So they come across interstellar space. They're in a craft. It's a nuts and bolts craft. I mean, it's not magic. And they're coming through our atmosphere, and they go, oh, crap. This atmosphere is much thicker than we thought, and they burn up. Or they lose control, and they crash. Or they get through the atmosphere, and they say, oh, we thought the Earth's gravity would be 1G, and it's actually 3Gs, and we're not prepared for this, and so they crash. With exploration comes accidents like that. There's a difference between going through interstellar space and then actually trying to physically land on a planet. Every planet has different atmosphere, different gravity, and so that's what I think. I think that They're much more sophisticated than us and much further advanced than we are, but they're not perfect. And they can miscalculate and crash. And who knows how many ships have crashed on the way here, hitting an asteroid or something. Meteorite, whatever, comet, or whatever. But that's the cost of exploration. And so that's what I believe that... those are my answers to him. He has good questions, but those were my answers to him. And he had another one. Why do they crash? Why do they abduct? I'll think of it. There was another one. But, and then when they do crash, military swoops in, picks them up, takes them away to whatever. Area 51, Wright-Patterson Airfield, wherever they take them, and they study them, and they reverse engineer them and things like that. But I do believe that, that article where the governor said we'll have interstellar space travel within our lifetimes. I believe we already have the technology. Will it ever be released for the good of humankind? I seriously doubt it, because the military is not going to release this information. They're not going to share this technology. They're going to keep it in their back pocket for an Armageddon type situation, for World War III. Think of it this way. In the United States, strategic oil reserves. We have, God only knows, millions, billions of gallons of oil hidden away somewhere. Strategic oil reserves. We have massive amounts of grain and things like that stockpiled away for future events, for future emergencies. So why wouldn't we do the same thing with technology? Why wouldn't we have super advanced technology stocked away for future emergencies, for future catastrophes? I believe that we do. Absolutely we do. The stealth bomber and the stealth fighter, those might be 10 generations behind what we actually have. So maybe 20 years from now, we'll be seeing what they have now after they've come up with 10 new generations of things, if that makes sense. So that's what I believe, and I'm really hoping that we can get this movement going, get followers, get likes, get a bunch of people listening to it, sharing it, and maybe we'll do our little part, and then we'll get more and more people into it, and then all of a sudden the little seed becomes a little bush, and the little bush becomes a little tree, and then the little tree becomes a huge tree. It just takes incremental steps and small steps forward. I wanted just to let you know. So I found out that there is I live in Ashburn, Virginia, and I found out that there is a MUFON meeting in Fairfax. I believe it's on Saturday, March 25th, from noon to 3:30 in Fairfax at the Green Turtle. So I'm going to go to that. I'm really excited. I've never been to a MUFON meeting before, and I'm hoping there's a big turnout, and I can get some really interesting information. I do know that they'll talk about any sightings. They give news updates and things like that, and I get to meet some cool people. So wherever you're listening, I would encourage you to do the same thing. Check it out. MUFON, you go on MUFON, and then look up, meetings or something like that. Or no, go by state. So like for Virginia, I go to the state Virginia, and there's this Virginia website. It's MUFONVA.com, I believe. And most of the states have a website, but at the very least they have contact information, phone numbers, and emails. So I would encourage you to do that. Get involved, get excited about it, and go to one of these meetings, hear some news, maybe stuff that we've never heard before, stuff we didn't know, or new ways of looking at things. That's one of the things that I try to do, is say something that maybe some of the listeners out there will go, wow, I never thought of it that way. That's a good point. sure, some people say I don't agree with him, which is fine. It's healthy debate. And like I said, I had a really good debate with a guy today, and I could almost feel like he's really interested. Like he really wants to be convinced. And so he's asking questions for me to answer. And you can see him kind of nodding his head and see a little twinkle in his eye. So maybe he's listening right now. And maybe I'll invite him to the MUFON meeting on March 25th. Anyway, that's what I've got for tonight. I'll do another podcast on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Oh, little funny joke. So I had someone write me on Facebook. I wrote 8 o'clock EST, and I think somebody was thinking it was like ET extraterrestrial, and they were like, what does the S stand for? Which I thought was really funny. But it's Eastern Standard Time, of course. So please listen to my podcast. Please share it with your friends. Tell everybody about it. I'll be back on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. I always send an announcement on Twitter and Facebook, like, hey, don't forget, podcast tonight at 8 o'clock. If I can't do it on Wednesday, like what happened last Wednesday, then I'll post that message saying podcast has been postponed until Thursday or whatever. So thank you very much for listening. This is Andrew Meadows with Alien Movement. Check me out at alienmovement.org, Facebook, also alienmovement.org, Twitter, at alienmovement1, and I'm on Spreaker, as you know. Please sponsor me on Patreon, even $1 a month, $3 a month, $5 a month, whatever you want. If you want to help the movement and tell your friends about it, I would really appreciate it. So I am signing out. I hope you have a great evening, and I will talk to you Wednesday. And as always, welcome to the movement.
Working on